Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Blue Golf Ball today with another Pokemon TCG online video. And today I have for you guys a Seismitoad Garbodor deck. This deck was brought to you guys by the Gengar guys, and the Gengar guys was generous enough to provide us this awesome deck list. And this is a deck list that got the Gengar guys to place second in his league challenge, so props to him, bravo. So let's take a look at this deck and let's see what we can do on Pokemon TCG Online in the ranked mode. So anyways, I made a couple tweaks in here because the thing with one thing I've seen over time, especially when I play in my league challenges and even in like city championships and things like that, different cities, different areas, different regions, different countries really have different flavors and different battles. I mean, the meta game is always different in different areas, and it's pretty tough, right? If you play out in the Netherlands or in Germany, or if you play out here in the U.S. or even in Canada, places around the world, a lot of the metagame is very similar, right? But then you see, if you guys research some statistics, you're going to see that there's some common decks out there that you'll see all the time, like Genesect, Virizion, you see Eviltal. But then the kind of techniques and the strategy behind the decks they differ depending on whoever's playing locally might have different decks and might play more heavy on one side of the spectrum over another side of the spectrum. So it's very interesting to see how that takes place. I mean, you think about even in the Pokemon world, and you talk about the Kanto region, Johto, and all these other places, you get different kind of Pokemon and different kind of trainers. So it's kind of cool how it actually translates into real life, which is kind of fun. One day maybe we should map out the kind of different decks and styles that each region kind of plays. But who knows? Anyways, we'll take a look at the Seismitoad deck here that Gengar guys has provided for us. I have made some tweaks. I'm not going to mention all the tweaks, but then I will mention that I'm going to play Dive Ball over having 4 Ultra Balls. I figured 1 Dive Ball to kind of consistently get Seismitoad and Suicune. Since we have 5 water types, I think it's worthwhile to kind of play 1 Dive Ball. And the chances of not discarding cards to get the Pokemon you want to play. Another addition to the deck is Mewtwo EX. Mewtwo's got the attack X Ball, does 20 damage times the number of energy attached to this Pokemon and the defending Pokemon. It's just a very solid attack, and the reason why I played this is because Seismitoad is pretty soft against grass types, so Virizion EX. The thing with Mewtwo is that if Virizion EX has 2 energies, and Mewtwo has, let's say, 3 energies and a Muscle Band, if we can pull it off, all we need is a DCE and a Water. I mean, we can kind of put a lot of heavy damage onto the Virizion, and kind of even just with 2 energy and a Muscle Band, right? That's already 100 damage on the Virizion. That's already a 2-hit knockout for the Virizion, and threatening Virizion to be like, hey, you want to mess with our Toad, you gotta mess with our Mewtwo. And so I thought I'd throw in 1 Mewtwo for that. Otherwise, if you take a look at the list here, again, Seismitoad has the attack Quaking Punch. Just for a DCE, you can do 30 damage. With the Muscle Band, you can hit for 50. Your opponent can't play any item cards from his or her next turn. Yeah, that is devastating. It's an item lock kind of thing. Grenade Hammer could be pretty useful just to cleaning things up at the end of the games. Otherwise, we do have Jirachi here for Stellar Guidance. We can get our supporter card into play, and then we do have Suicune here with Safeguard, just to kind of protect us from other EXs. Now, you might be thinking, wait, what's this elephant in the room here? Garbodor with Garbotoxin, doesn't that shut off abilities? And yes, it does. The thing with Garbodor is that we don't need to play Garbodor all the time, right? We only need to play Garbodor in situations where, let's say, we're running up against Pyroar, or we are running against Virizion and Genesect, where we need to play Hypnotoxic Laser and kind of build some poison damage over time. So it's very battle specific. So if we're playing against an Aromatisse deck, definitely want to play Garbodor shut off and the Fairy Transfer, things like that. Same thing with Bronzong. Now, if we're playing against another Seismitoad or other things like that, I guess we can just go with like Suicune right here, and if our opponent has Seismitoad, it wouldn't really affect our the safeguard here. Things like that. It's really depending on the matches. So we'll have to wait and see what we want to do, especially with this cast of Pokemon. So very, very thoughtful how Gengar guys kind of put this together. Very good. We do see some differences here with the Acrobite. We have 2 of these. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put one of them in into your hand, and then you can discard the other card. So I apologize, my ear's a little itchy right now. Okay, let's see. So 2 of these, 2 Crushing Hammers, in case we want to annoy our opponents and discard their energy. We've got to flip heads for those. I already mentioned the Dive Ball. We have 1 Escape Rope. Once again, the Seismitoad has a pretty hefty retreat cost, and so does Garbodor in situations where our opponent plays Throwing Megaphone, if they can pull it off, right? Because we item lock them. Seismitoad is a very heavy retreat cost. We do need a couple of those. We have Hypnotoxic Laser, 4 of these, and 1 Professor's Letter just to get the energy into our hand. Here, my friend here, Gengar guys, has opted to play 2 Super Scoop Ups, and it's very good indeed. It works very well for Jirachi in case you want to do Stellar Guidance again, or it works very well for Seismitoad. Let's say Seismitoad has a lot of energy, a lot of damage on him. If you can flip heads, you can just pick Seismitoad up, and then you can play him back down. Play the Garbodor with the Float Stone, and then retreat into the Seismitoad, a fresh Seismitoad with no damage on it. So very versatile. You can kind of with Super Scoop Up, very very good card if you flip heads, and it's very very powerful. We have 1 switch here again, just because the retreating is kind of crucial, especially with big Pokemon. 3 Ultra Balls, kind of mentioned that earlier. We have 3 VS Seekers to have some support consistency. We do have Lysander, one of these just to drag things out from the bench. 1 Lysander Strum card. We have, I believe, 3 Ends and 4 Junipers, and then 1 Skyla here. Skyla can be very handy for searching out Floatstone to attach it onto the Garbodor, and then that would activate Garbotoxin, right? You need a tool here. If you guys haven't seen Garbotoxin before, if you have a tool on this guy, it would prevent all abilities. And like I said, it works very well for different type matches, like matches like Virizion or Pyro or things like that. And then finally, we got 3 Verbank City Gyms just to tack on 2 more damage counters on poison Pokemon in between turns. And yes, it does affect us as well, but like I said again, we do have Escape Rope and Switch and Float Stone to kind of escape and avoid those kind of situations. We have 4 Muscle Bands and 1 Head Ringer just in case we want to bug our opponent's EXs. Only 1. I can see why, because again, it really depends on where you're playing, right? So if you're playing in a place where in a city that a lot of folks are playing big EXs, yeah, you want to play a Head Ringer. Unless you're playing against people, a lot of folks around your town, your area, that are playing a lot of I don't know, Empoleon or Donphan, things like that don't actually have team. You can't really use Team Flare grunts, Team Flare gear, head Ringer here. So it really depends, right? So we only have 1 of those. 4 DCEs, and we have finally wrapping up the deck 5 Water Energies. So all right, without further ado, let's go ahead and see this Seismitoad Garbodor deck in action on Pokemon TCG Online. Okay, looks like we're going in Neo 1990, and no one has the advantage. It looks like my opponent is playing a Psychic, Lightning, and Grass deck. I'm not too sure what that would be. That could be a variety of different things, but we're going to go ahead and, yes, we get to go first. That would actually allow us to start with a Jirachi. See, this is where I wish we had a Super Scoop Up in hand right now. Well, if we did that, then we would lose. So it looks like we're going against a Joltik. Okay. So I don't know for sure. So right now, I think Mewtwo would be a pretty good option. Especially with Mew. If my opponent plays Mew, then we can just go for an X-Ball. That would knock out the Mew. But we would really have to be kind of tricky with how we choose to play our Pokemon. So actually, I want to do a one-shot on Mew if we ever get to. Man, I really wish we didn't start with the Jirachi. But let's go ahead. We're going to discard the N and the Water Energy. I'm going to bring out a Seismitoad. And we could actually bring out Suicune too if we face against a Mew, and if we can get rid of, the Joltik and stuff like that. But we can't attack in the first turn anyway. I'm gonna play the Water Energy onto Seismitoad, and we're gonna go ahead. We'll grab the N, and I guess we'll just play the N, and we get an Acro Bite. We might as well do that. I'm gonna hang on to the Verbank City Gym. That way we can counter our opponent. So this is where I guess I kind of wish that my opponent. I wish that I didn't swap. What did I say opponent for? I wish I didn't swap the Dive Ball for the Ultra Ball. So let's go ahead. We will go with this. And let's see. Do we want a Hypnotoxic Laser? Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is brutal. Oh wow. I'm so sorry. Oh, poor Joltik. he passed out turn 1. Oh no. Oh gosh. Okay, well, if we were playing in city championships or something like that, oh, that's just devastating, man. Oh wow. And I burned up like a minute and a half just to do that. I apologize for Neo 1990. Oh boy. Okay, so let's go ahead and play another match here. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but the poor Joltik just passed out. So we're playing against a lightning, darkness, and water deck. Very interesting. We get to go first again. So, I kind of figured it would be a Manectric here. It's gonna be. Oh my goodness! We start with Jirachi again. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh no. Okay, so let's see. Oh, that's awful. Yes, I'd like to draw. Oh my goodness, 4. Are you serious? 4. Oh wow. So definitely what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the Headringer onto the Manectric. Well, I'm not gonna play it on the Yveltal EX because the Manectric's gonna get a Spirit Link, and I'm gonna try to cause my opponent to at least try to burn a turn, evolving. And wow, this is brutal. Oh my goodness, that is just brutal. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw this on here. At some point, I'm gonna have to play Lysander's trump card. We just lost a Garbodor via Secret. We lost a lot of good stuff there. So I'm gonna end the turn. Hopefully, my opponent stays asleep. No, my opponent wakes up. At least we know for sure my opponent cannot knock us out or not attack. And we know for sure the Yveltal EX can't attack. There's no such thing as Dark Patch anymore. My opponent, back in the day, we could see something like a DCE and then like, a Professor's Letter, Ultra Ball, Dark Patch, switch. That's crazy explosive. Can you imagine if Dark Patch still existed? My opponent could have easily played Professor's Letter and then like just go for Ultra Ball and then Dark Patch and then switch. And then, bam, that would be, and even a Muscle Band, too, right? If my opponent had the DCE, that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would have been a knockout on the Jirachi. That would have been 100 damage, even without Jirachi having a single energy there. So let's go ahead. We're going to play this guy. It's Tails. And my opponent only has 4 cards. My opponent's going to play the Mega Manectric to evolve. So we saw my opponent play the Ultra Ball for that. I'm definitely going to play an N. What I'm going to do first is play for this, and I'm going to just only grab 1. That way I can retreat. So let's go ahead. We're gonna end right now. We even get the scoop up. So I'm going to actually hang on to that to when I want to do something else. So right now I know for sure that we're only playing against EXs. So might as well bring out the Suicune. Why the heck not? The Suicune isn't, So we have another Seismitoad here. I probably shouldn't have played him, but let's go ahead. I'm going to retreat, and we do have the Lysander's trump card. Let's go ahead. Let's go for the Quaking Punch. My opponent hopefully didn't draw into another Mega Manectric. Otherwise, my opponent can just power up this Yveltal over here, and I'm a little afraid of the Yveltal. This is where you wished you would have Mewtwo. We see the Keldeo. My opponent plays a Tyranno here, drawing 3 cards. Okay, so one day for a future deck, you know what I want to do? Oh boy, the Keldeo is going to rush in, and I kind of wish we had a Lysander to bring out the Manectric. And that's it. My opponent passes the turn. For a future video, one thing I would like to do is to play a deck that features just Tyranno and Sharon. Tyranno, Sharon, and maybe Professor Juniper, Professor, or I don't know, Professor Juniper's dad, right? Those guys all draw 3 cards. So right here, my opponent's got a ton of cards. It's got 7, and what I actually want to do is, let's see, my opponent's got energy right now. My opponent can definitely evolve. I actually wouldn't mind playing the Lysander's trump card right now. And that way, just kind of throw in some more energies. I don't want energies on my opponent's discard pile to charge up to charge the Yveltal if my opponent was able to get a Mega Manectric out. So anyways, right now, I think what we want to do is, I'm going to hang on to this in case my opponent has a Starling Megaphone. But let's just go for the Quaking Punch. It's a shame we don't have another Hypnotoxic Laser, but we were able to shuffle another one back in. And so that works very well in our favor. My opponent has quite a bit of cards. We don't see a Darkrai yet for the free retreat. We do see a Professor Sycamore discarding a Spirit Link and a Tyranno, Lysander, and Professor Birch's Observation. Getting another lightning energy into the discard pile. That's not good. We do have Lysander here, and that's it. My opponent passes the turn, and it's a little suspicious that my opponent didn't play anything. But what I want to do, so if I can, I want to... Oh, no, if I flipped heads, I would definitely pick up Jirachi and go for a Lysander and just take out the Manectric. That would have been great. But right now, let's just go for the N. And there is the Lysander. I do have a Floatstone, but I really don't need that right now. Let's just go ahead. We're going to attack. Go for the Quaking Punch. We whiffed the Hypnotoxic Laser. Once again, my opponent has 7 cards. Ooh, okay, so we see another energy drop over here on the Yveltal. We do see a Darkrai EX. We could see a retreat into the Yveltal EX. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. Oh, man. My opponent could get a Muscle Band. Oh, man. That's 120 damage right there. So, I mean, there's a couple things we can do here. Oh, man. This is tough. So, right now, the Keldeo is very, very annoying. What I want to do is we're going to play... We have 2 Floatstones. I'm going to play a Floatstone onto the Suicune. In case this one gets knocked out, we can just kind of promote this Suicune. My opponent has nothing that can attack it, and my opponent already has 2 Lysanders in the discard pile. My opponent can still play Lysander by using a VS Seeker, but otherwise, my opponent's got a pretty big hand size. I have a bunch of Junivers I don't want to give up, and I don't actually want to play an N right now without having an energy drop, so I'm going to go ahead. We're just going to play the N and kind of go from there. We do get the Trubbish out here. Let's see, we can go with this here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. I don't really want to see a Russian and retreat. Let's see, we have VS Seeker. That's good stuff there. Let's see, we got the Escape Rope. That's pretty good, I guess. Now, if we play an Escape Rope, what would my opponent... My opponent can promote the Darkrai or the Keldeo. Otherwise, I could try Crushing Hammer. See, the thing with Crushing Hammer is it's risky, right? It's 50-50. If I flip Tails, then it's burn. So I'm actually gonna go with the Escape Rope, and we have a Floatstone on the Suicune. So let's go ahead. We're gonna go with the Floatstone or with the Escape Rope. We'll see if the Keldeo goes in, or definitely not the Manectric EX, but most likely the Darkrai. I'm gonna try to hope that my opponent does not have any energy. If my opponent does, then he just gets a free retreat anyways, and will knock out my Seismitoad. And that would be a bummer, but what we can do, so right here, oh wow, my opponent promotes what's that about? I'm actually going to power up this guy instead, so let's just go ahead. We will knock this guy out. Quaking Punch, taking 2 prizes here. Oh, 2 VS Seekers and a Hypnotoxic Laser. My opponent can actually knock us out, but we'll just promote the Suicune, and we'll have the freedom of free retreat, and Suicune at the same time. Can always just, be a wall for us. Hopefully my opponent does not have, oh wow, tit for tat. We take 2, he takes 2. And let's see what to do here. I'm going to promote the Suicune for sure. And let's see, we can definitely go and end our opponent down to 4. We will go down as well. I'm going to go ahead, we'll play this Muscle Band here. Let's go and play the Hypnotoxic Laser. We do hit heads. Hopefully my opponent stays asleep. And we will definitely end our opponent down to 4 cards right now. And woo, we get another Hypnotoxic Laser. We even get the water right now. So lots of good stuff here. We should be able to survive the turn. If anything, my opponent can't play Muscle Band. I forgot about that since we do item lock him. So let's go ahead. We'll just retreat and let's go for the Quaking Punch. In the next turn, if we can draw into an energy, we can just go for a Grenade Hammer. My opponent doesn't really have any attackers ready to battle us. No Switch. My opponent can't play Switch, can't play Floatstone. All we see is a Russian and retreat from Keldeo because of this. And we have yet to lock our opponent from doing the Russian retreat with the Dark Cloak and the ability Russian. So, all right here, this is big money. Oh no, we didn't get it. Are you kidding me? Okay. So what we're gonna do is we will lock our opponent. Okay, this is very tricky. Okay, so what's going to happen is our Seismitoad is going to go down, okay? But what we're going to do in the next turn, if my opponent doesn't play end, what we're going to do is we're going to go for the Ultra Ball. We're going to discard the Trubbish, and we're going to discard the next card that we have. We'll play the Muscle Band on this Trubbish down here and get the Garbodor and then Hypnotoxic Laser, the Evital. So, okay, here we go. We're going to just go for the Quaking Punch. Let's hope that opponent doesn't end us. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just promote the Suicune. So my opponent shouldn't be able to play a VS Seeker or something rather. This could go down pretty bad, right? So in the next turn, my opponent would be able to use items again, and my opponent can use VS Seeker and get a Lysander and Lysander out the Jirachi and just knock out the Jirachi. Because my opponent's doing 120 damage. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's doing 80 damage. Oh boy, so that's a knockout on the Seismitoad. My opponent will be taking 2 cards. And okay, here we go. Let's promote this Suicune. Okay, all is not lost yet. And I'm probably piloting this deck pretty bad. Ooh, okay, we do get some energy cards. That's good. We want energies, so let's go ahead. We're gonna play the energy here. I'm gonna go with the Hypnotoxic Laser. Oh darn, we couldn't get the Evital to go to sleep. Let's go ahead. We'll play that there, and here we go. Where's the Garbodor? There he is. We're gonna locking up the Russian and retreat, and we're not gonna do anything here. And we're just gonna end the turn. The Evital here should pass out, and once again, my opponent has a ton of cards. My opponent can use a ton of items right now. We can see a switch. Definitely can see a switch. We can see a Startling Megaphone. We can see a variety of things now. My opponent has a ton of things. We see a Silent Lab that actually locks up poor Safeguard. The Safeguard is done. Let's see here. Oh no, this is not good. We'll go with the Jirachi, I suppose. Oh no. Okay, so my opponent shouldn't be able to attack us. I don't believe so. So it's our turn. We do get a Juniper. That's good stuff for us. And we didn't get we didn't get anything. My opponent shouldn't be able to attack us still. So yeah, okay. Let's see how many DCEs are gone. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 waters and another DCE in the discard pile. Boy, oh, that is devastating. Okay, I honestly don't think that the Darkrai should be able to knock us out. And yeah, let's go ahead. We'll just play the Full Stone right now. Unless my opponent has the Startling Megaphone, then we are done for. But in case if my opponent does not have the Startling Megaphone, if my opponent does have the Startling Megaphone, I'm gonna play the DCE now, right? In the next turn, I don't want to play an N. I'm probably just gonna play a Juniper. So we're gonna end the turn here. Okay, so oh man, this is rough. Oh no, we see the Professor's Letter. Oh no, the Darkrai will get powered up. We oh no, we should survive the turn here at the very least. And here is the Muscle Band. Okay, all right. So we can end our opponent down to 2. That's always an option as well. Okay, so here we go. Oh, we get a DCE. I don't want to see a DCE right now, man. Let's do the end. Okay, we get a Mewtwo. Let's go with the Acrobite, and we do get a Seismitoad. Let's see here. Resistance. My opponent is down to 2 cards. Okay, alright, so here's the big risk. I'm going to go ahead and, let's see here. I'm just going to, I could retreat, but if my opponent has the energy, then it's over. Let's see here. If my opponent, if my opponent has the energy, my opponent would just take 2 turns. But okay, never mind. And okay, so here we go. We have the Mewtwo. Let's just go big, guys. Let's just go big right now. X-Ball for 60. There we go. All right. Oh no. Let's see here. We see a Electric Spirit Link. My opponent can't retreat anymore. We see an end. I get 2 cards. That's always good. We get a Muscle Band. Oh boy. Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. Hypnotoxic Laser, Muscle Band. Oh man, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, let's just go big, guys. Go big or go home. Oh, sweet. We were able to knock out the Darkrai, and right now, that was fun. Mewtwo saves the day. Okay, alright, my wife is calling me for dinner, so I gotta go and eat now, but, oh wow, that was an enjoyable battle. All right, thank you again, Gengar guys. We came back and won it. I don't think I piloted this deck as best as I could, but poor Joltik in the beginning, and boy, that was a lot of fun. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and give us a thumbs up to this video. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if you guys have any deck lists, deck ideas, please send them my way, and I'll see if I can build them and showcase them on this channel. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys later. Bye.